The Circle City Wiffle Ball season is right around the corner, getting ready to start May 3rd, so that probably means that we are overdue for a Dirtyard Dish episode. We gave a quick little episode for Holy Commutes during the winter, but now we are officially underway here with the season. And I am Rudy Lyon, the Deputy Commissioner of CCW and the voice of Circle City Wiffle Ball. And on today's episode of Dirtyard Dish, we're going to be discussing just a quick summary of what all has gone on during the off-season over the long fall, winter, early spring months as we approach this opening day. So sit tight. We'll give you just a quick synopsis of everything that we've done to the Dirtyard, done to our league, and some changes that are exciting for the upcoming 2021 season. So stay tuned.
I can't wait to get back on the road again. Back again. Dude, like for the baggers. Back home again. Back home again. In Indiana land.
So, first and foremost, it's worth mentioning that the Dirtyard went back to its initial roots of being completely dirt. So if you don't know the story about the Dirtyard, the space behind Brendan Dudis's home was utilized for a dirt track for RC cars, and it was just pretty much torn down to the point where it was leveled, and then grass was put in, and then they created a wiffle ball field out of it that has evolved into this amazing wiffle stadium, the Dirtyard. And last fall, we had some grass and plant and weed killer put on the grass. It was intended to happen later in the fall. It ended up kind of happening during the end of our season and into our World Series. And with that, the grass was completely destroyed, ruined, and we wanted to break it down to the foundation so we could grow new, better grass. And I'll tell you what, right now we've got some great growth. The grass is super healthy. We're manicuring it and taking care of it really well so that it is pristine for our regular season and for hosting NWLA and a bunch of other exciting opportunities that could be coming down the road this summer. With that, we've been re-edging the infield, making it a little more precise, taking off some sloppy edges. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on as we discuss some social media updates. Also, we've had the NWLA materials, everything that goes into running the national tournament in the fall has been delivered from Cannonsburg, PA, outside Pittsburgh, and set on site at the Dirtyard and stored for this September's upcoming tournament. We'll probably be utilizing some of the materials for our own regular season purposes, and with that, adjusting our strike zone to mimic the NWLA strike zone. So that's a rule change that's coming up for us. And as I mentioned, the social media aspect of CCW, well, I tell you what, if you've been living under a rock in the wiffle world, which I know predominantly runs on Twitter, but TikTok has been a huge avenue for us as a league just recently. We've been using TikTok ever since quarantine started in the spring of 2020, but it has taken off just within the last month as we have emphasized the Dirtyard and that manicuring that we talked about. And using that kind of as our cash cow for getting viewers and followers. And just within the last couple weeks or so, we've accrued roughly 2 to 3 million views. One video that Dudis put together that was just a time lapse of edging got 1.5 million views and has truly sent us into a viral status, and we're trying to I guess handle the incoming onslaught of DMs and player interest and people wanting to see the Dirtyard, play on the Dirtyard, watch games, add teams to the league, which we're well past deadlines to do that. We'll have to wait till next year to think about those things. But we're kind of scratching our heads. Is this is a good problem to have? It's a blessing for sure for the league. But as we approach, the timing of approaching opening day is just very curious. And we're excited that it's building so much excitement for people in the Indianapolis area and nationally or internationally. We're just loving the fact that we get to introduce wiffle ball to some people that have no idea what it is. There have been a lot of comments on our posts about what is this field? What are the dimensions? Is this for baseball? Is this for softball? And then just wiffle ball not even being on the mental radar for some of the viewers. So that is definitely exciting. And with the viral nature of TikTok, us finally striking gold, we've had this onslaught of followers and DMs on Insta and Twitter, as well as our Twitch page, which is up over 500 followers, and we've really been pushing that. We want to make that a great product for people to watch this summer. We're going to have hopefully broadcast and a color commentary individual or team doing every night of the season as we schedule. So big things coming. I know we've really been building up to this and anticipating it, trying to get in connections with Pat McAfee, the local sports teams in Indy, the Colts and the Pacers and whoever else, and even kind of trying to get the attention of Barstool last year, which didn't pan out. But here we are. This could potentially lead to a lot more things in the positive end for us. So it's exciting, and we're definitely managing that excitement and overwhelming feeling as best as we possibly can. Now, aside from the social media and the things going on with our field, the Dirtyard, it's worth knowing that we do have some different tweaks that are being made to our rules and our scheduling, and the scheduling being a big part of my role as deputy commissioner. I'm excited to, have all 8 teams returning, and this is the first time in CCW, at least in a long time, probably ever, that all of our teams have returned in terms of like the franchising. So last year we had 8 teams, and we've had no additional teams added. There were thoughts that might happen, but we are not starting from scratch with any particular franchise, so that's a good place to be in, to have that turnover. And with that, our scheduling format is changing a bit. We're still shooting for a 21-game regular season, but it's not going to be as defined or refined in that way. We know that scheduling can be difficult, and so we kind of created this option where you have to at least play one of the other 7 teams in the league one time, and you can play them a max of 5 times and still hope to get 21 total games, but you can play up to 28 without receiving penalty. And honestly, playing too many games, like, that's just going to be damage on your arms. You don't want to overdo it. With that, you're probably wondering, well, how is that going to create balance? Well, myself, I've created a strength of schedule formula with our standing sheets and on Google Sheets and Excel that will basically give a cumulative and summative win-loss percentage coupled with a strength of schedule function that will then give you one all-around win percentage. And you get docked winning percentage points if you don't get to that 21-game threshold. And also, we are going to a format that instead of just having 2 teams play each other each night, we're going to incorporate a 3-team mini round robin each evening, so it's less time at the field, 3 hours instead of 4. You'll get more intriguing matchups from night to night. I think a less opportunity for sweeps, but also with 2 teams playing and 1 team sitting on any given game, we will have umpires and scorekeepers readily available at the field, which that could always be a pain to schedule out alone, let alone scheduling the games themselves. So we're just kind of trying to solve problems as we go with that methodology. And also, we're adding another weekend tournament. Last year we had 2 tournaments. We had a round-robin opener, and then we had a mid-season tournament as well. And now we're keeping those 2 ideas, and then we're adding a home stretch tournament that's within the last 2 weeks of the regular season to kind of fill in the gaps of games that we need. And a lot of the guys around the league were really just loving the atmosphere of being at the Dirtyard for a whole day, for upwards of 10 to 12 hours, however long you want to stay. You get your 3 games in, you can hang out with your opponents, your teammates, and just enjoy, hopefully, the good weather if we have it on that day, and then building some relationships with guys that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. So we're adding that to the table to where we'll have one of those tournaments once a month, and the first one upcoming is after our slate of opening week matchups that will run from May 3rd to May 11th, and then on Sunday, May 16th, we'll have our first tournament, the opening week tournament. And then in June, the mid-season, and then mid-July will be the home stretch tournament to cap off our tournament schedule. And then 2 weeks later, it's playoffs, and then the Dirtyard Classic before September rolls around, and that will be our regular season. So as you can see, there's a lot of changes coming through. We have some rule changes that I won't, that may have to do with like the pitch count or the ball count or our lob hit, pitch to hit rules. You'll be able to see those on our Twitch. I won't go into detail about those, but that's just kind of a quick rundown of what has been happening as we've been in hibernation over the winter months in the Midwest. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for upcoming podcasts for our season previews about each of our teams. We will be giving out 4 of those, 2 teams per pod based on the opening season matchups. And we're excited to get those out to you, and then just getting out on the Dirtyard field and actually playing some ball. So hope you join us on Twitch to watch our games. Keep following all of our social media outlets, and please tune in and check us out all season long here at Dirtyard Dish.
I can't wait to get back on the road again. Back again. Like front of baggers. Back home again. Back home again. In Indiana land.